Hi guys, so what I'm going to be talking about in this video is the finale of Pretty Little Liars. The thing is though, I would have to explain a lot because a lot happened throughout the 7 seasons that this show was on, so instead of giving a full recap, I'm just going to talk about certain things that surprised me in the finale. And this is also, I was originally going to do videos for each episode of the final 10 episodes, but I decided just to do a final goodbye video. So let's start with some interesting things that happen, and then we'll see what happens from there. So I was actually really shocked. I was surprised by what happened in the finale. For the most part, I'm glad that they gave it 2 hours because it would have been really rushed in one episode, like a 1 hour episode. So I think it definitely needed that 2-hour time slot because a lot happened and a lot needed to be explained, especially when there's so many questions that were still unanswered. So what I was surprised by was the reveal of AD. I heard rumors about Spencer having a twin and all that, but I honestly just thought it was because of all the sibling stuff that was coming up, so I figured it was kind of just a little bit of a made-up theory. But it turns out Spencer did have a twin named Alex Drake. AD. So, what really surprised me was when the accent came out of Alex Drake. I was really surprised by that. Never would have guessed that she'd be British. But, yeah, that was really... that was interesting. And I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say her name right. Troian, I think is her name. Troian Bellisario. She did a great job playing 2 characters in this episode, especially since we never imagined her playing 2 different characters. So I do have to give her an A+ on that. That is not easy to pull off. But wow. And it was really interesting, all the things that were revealed about Alex Drake, like what happened to her and why she wanted to torture everybody, and she really just wanted a family and friends, but she was going through really sick and demented ways of doing it. Like she had her boyfriend shoot her in the shoulder so her scar would match Spencer's so she could pull off being Spencer. And God, that's really insane. Oh, and her boyfriend, by the way, is Ren, or was Ren. Turns out he died at some point and was turned into a necklace. Show is really... I honestly did not see that coming. Anyway, if you guys remember Ren, he's been on throughout the series, but it's, like I said, a lot to explain. So I definitely suggest watching the whole series if you can, or at least reading some recaps. But anyway, that was very interesting to me that they did the twin thing with Spencer, because I think in the book it was originally supposed to be Allison who had the twin, and they actually teased that back in the Halloween episode, but I guess they decided to go a different route, which I think it made it different and unexpected, which is good. Because people who read the book, they know what's going to happen, so where's the surprise, where's the fun? So if they can find new and exciting ways to surprise the readers especially, then I think that's good, especially if they make it work. So, one interesting thing was, this is a small detail, but I really loved Arya's wedding dress when she was originally supposed to get married to Ezra, and then obviously stuff happened and they didn't get to wed that day. But then later, when she and Ezra do get married, she's in a much simpler, shorter dress, and I didn't like it as much. And that's just me, I'm very into costuming and fashion, so small thing. Maybe other people agree with me, I don't know, but anyway. Overall, I liked the episode. I think they did a great job tying the loose ends. Like, we still didn't learn how the moms got out of the basement back, when was that? Season 5, I think? Or, no, Season 6. I'm sorry, there's just so much to remember. Especially when the seasons are kind of scattered a little bit. Anyway, we didn't exactly learn how they got out of the basement, they just brought it up. So we'll leave it a mystery. I guess Spencer and Toby technically aren't together at the end, even though I think there's still a connection there, but I kind of like that they didn't force it exactly, because Alex was the one who wanted Toby because she dementedly thought that he was in love with her, even though technically he's in love with Spencer, but anyway. So, I'm kind of glad they didn't force Spencer and Toby back into a relationship at the end. Kind of leaves it open for possibilities, so I like that they did that. There's so much to talk about. The thing is, it's so much to process, and here, one thing I can talk about. The ending, there's 2 things that happen at the end. One, we see Mona, who is now in France, and she apparently owns a doll shop, and she has a boyfriend, and at one point she goes down to the basement of the shop, and we see this doll set that she has, and then we see in another room with a window where Mona can watch, there's Alex and Mary Drake, who's the mother of Alex and Spencer, and they've kind of been placed in their own doll setup. So now even though Mary wasn't that evil, I guess she kind of deserved a little bit of a punishment. I don't know. Anyway, they've become the dolls now, because there was the whole thing where the girls wore A's dolls, and it just... there was a lot with dolls in this series. Anyway, I thought that was kind of a comedic ending in a sense, just the way they did it, and the dialogue was funny. So, I like that it had a little bit of a light-hearted ending in a sense, even though it's kind of a dark thing when you think about it. Alright, so the second ending, this is because I read an interview with Marlene King, and she said that at the end of the series things were going to come full circle, and that made me think they were going to do something with the very first episode of Pretty Little Liars, where all the girls are in Spencer's barn, and they wake up, Spencer and Allison aren't there, and then Spencer comes back and says, Allison's gone, and that is what kicked off the series. So I had a feeling they were going to do something with that, but I thought it was going to be them again, but this time it was kind of like a new generation, and we were kind of introduced to them earlier on in the episode. And it's basically the same situation with a mean girl who has all these friends, and she controls them, and she's mean to everybody around her. Sound familiar? So, it basically picked up where the first episode kicked off, where the girl, Addison, is gone, and one of her friends comes back to the barn and says, she's missing, she's gone. And it was literally the same dialogue, too, which I'm not going to try to repeat it because I'm probably going to get it wrong, but I really liked that they did that. It kind of leaves a possibility if they want to do a spin-off or a reboot. They could do a whole new generation, really. But yeah, but that was basically the episode. And like I said, there's other things I could talk about, just there's so much to think about. My mind is still processing everything, because we learned a lot. Sometimes I like it better when we get answers one by one instead of all at once, because it's a lot to remember, a lot to process, so. But I still overall liked the episode, what they did with it. It was a good send-off. And now, it's over. It's weird to think, because the show started back in 2010, and it's when I was in high school, and I wasn't exactly dealing with cyberbullying. Thank God I wasn't dealing with this, but I kind of had my own form of dealing with bullying, not terrible like this, but it just, a lot of stuff was going on in my life, and it seems like high school's kind of the place where that happens, and I know there's a lot of people who deal with this kind of stuff, whether it be on the lowest level or the highest level, but we definitely don't deserve to go through any of that. And this show just really, it had an impact on me, because even though it wasn't exactly an escape from reality, it was still, there were these characters that you could relate to, and I definitely loved the character growth that occurred throughout the series. Like Allison, she had the biggest character growth. She was the bully in the beginning, and then she disappeared, and even when she came back, she was still kind of that way. It's kind of like old habits don't die kind of thing, but she, at the end of the series, she was very different, and I like that she grew, she learned her lesson, and I think it's because she kind of got a taste of her own medicine, but definitely the show teaches you that you have to be kind to people. You can't bully people, and it's just, even though that lesson isn't exactly, it was more of the thriller aspect of the show, but the lesson is there, just that we need to be careful how we treat people, and when we have all of this amazing technology, people can use it for bad, and they do. They definitely do. And you shouldn't have to fear every time you hear that you got a text on your phone or you got a video sent to you. It shouldn't be that way. So we definitely have to be careful with all this technology. It's like with great power comes great responsibility. Definitely have to be careful with it. So that's definitely what I got out of the show. There's a lot more to it, I know, just that was a big thing that I'm taking with me. And I'm sure, I know, sorry, had to pause for a second. So anyway, what I was saying is, Pretty Little Liars definitely, it started with a fan base of people who have read the books and people who haven't read the books. I'm one of the people who never read the books, and I still haven't. Partly because I don't want to be influenced by the books while I'm watching the show. And I know a lot of people weren't happy with the changes that they made, and there were a lot of complaints over the seasons, and they lost a lot of fans, I'm sure. It happens to every show. But I'm glad to see that there are definitely people that still have stuck around, and I think that's what a true fan is. Just, you can have your complaints, you can definitely feel that the show's not going well, but definitely when you stick through to the end, you're definitely giving the show a chance, and you might end up liking it more than you think. And I know there's times when shows have ended really badly compared to how they started. Trust me, I've been through that. But I think when you're a fan, you stay true to the show. You understand that they're trying their best, and they're definitely trying to spread a message. And even if they fail in conveying that message, sometimes you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know, because I've experienced working on shows, I even do my own writing, and I know it's not easy to be consistent with things, and I know it's hard when there's a lot of expectations, so it's just, I think Pretty Little Liars, even though they went through their troubles, I enjoyed the series a lot. It definitely has been a part of my life, and I'm grateful that it was. I don't regret watching it. I don't regret staying through to the end. I'm happy I stayed and watched. So, I am definitely going to give the cast and crew congratulations, because they did an amazing job. The cast really became their characters, and that's not that it's not easy, just it is difficult because you really want to embody the character and become the character in the process, and I think they did a great job, and they really grew with the character, and I know I watched their goodbyes, and they're definitely gonna miss the show, and I am too. And I think they ended it in a good place, so what can I say? I'm very happy that it all worked out, and definitely glad that I got to watch it. Alright, if you guys have anything to say, you can definitely comment, or we can talk about any of your theories that came true, or theories that you had that didn't come true, but could have been really interesting things that would have happened on the show. So yeah, just leave a comment, and I'm gonna leave it here. There's definitely, like I said, there's more to talk about, but it's a lot to process and explain, so definitely an interesting show. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon, hopefully. I'm definitely going to do other videos. This was just a one-time video for Pretty Little Liars because, like I said, I thought about doing more episodes, but I felt like doing a final video was a good one, so yeah, definitely in the fall I'm gonna come back with Once Upon a Time and American Horror Story, if you guys watch any of that, and there's other shows I'll do, so just keep an eye out, and I hopefully will see you guys soon. Alright, have a good day, guys. Bye.